Very good morning.
Hey Vidya, good evening.
Good
Good
evening.
morning, everyone.
So we'll give it 2 minutes before we get started.
I guess Vidya, we can start.
Okay. Just a moment. I'm just sharing the thing.
Yeah, we can see your screen.
To minimize the stuff. Okay. Um, So very good morning and good evening to everyone who has joined today. I'm sure you all received the agenda from our marketing team. Today we are going to, the first thing is we just want to catch up with a few product updates. But the core of the meeting is we want to talk about the much awaited reports. Uh, I think the team has kind of worked through a phase where we have reimagined the reports, and definitely this cannot be done without AI using that as a technology. So with that, I think I'll get started with the product release updates, and then basically after that we will start with the AI reports, and I'll also walk you through a demo on how it's going to work. Okay, Basha, you can start with the first set of slides.
Yeah, sure. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining the partner call. Next slide. So we have a couple of updates on the UI side. The first one is the refresh risk scores. So basically, the risk scores and the vulnerability counts, we had a backend sync, previous slide, yeah. Backend sync, which updates the scores twice in a day. And many a times we have seen that there has been questions and issues from our partners wherein the risk score doesn't reflect the correct value after the remediation has been done and after the scan has been done. So this is only because of the timing of the backend sync, which is there in place today. So to address this, what have we done? We have given an on-demand refresh risk score in the UI. So at any point in time, after you have run your remediations and run the scan, if the risk scores have not updated as per the backend sync, here is that option. You can click on the refresh risk scores. It's available both at the global level, at the company level, and at the asset level. So this is at the asset. There is the three-dot action menu, wherein you can do it for a particular assets, and you can also do it globally across your companies. So this on-demand UI sync will help you to get the risk scores updated immediately once your scans are run. The next update, the next slide. A max average / average risk score. So again, today, by default, we are showing the risk scores depending upon the max risk score and the average of the max risk score in the matrix. Next slide. But again, here the highlighted areas, as you can see. So these are depending on the max score. The average and the max score is listed both for the internal assets as well as the external scan score. So again, there have been asks from partners who want to see the average risk score. So to address this, we have given it as a setting. So by default, it will be max score and average of max score, which is there today. So we are not changing the default behavior. Just the previous slide. The setting will be default. By default, it will be disabled. Only upon enabling, the calculations will be taken into account the average risk score. As it is written that upon enabling the setting, the average risk score will be calculated across internal as well as external assets. And accordingly, you will see the value in matrix. So whoever wants to see the value of the, depending on the average values of the risk score, they can use the setting, enable and save it. Okay, next slide. So UI updates, we are done. Asset and company documentation. So this was already there in production and we were in the beta phase. So we are ending the beta on October 31st. And we have made a few of the enhancements depending upon the feedback that we have received from all of you. So currently now the entire feature set of asset documentation includes documenting the assets that are identified by Connect Secure. There are two ways by which asset documentation is happening today. There is auto sync from the assets module into the documentation fields with the mandatory fields. And there is also the option of manual upload of the CSV. Generating QR codes for each asset. This is for tracking and shipping purpose. Generating barcode for each asset is also available. In addition, we have also done the asset documentation for non-IT assets. So that is through the CSV upload, and similar capabilities of QR code and barcode is also there for non-IT assets. On the reporting sides, these are the same set of reports that are there today. Asset report with documentation. So warranty expiry within 60 days, end of life within 90 days, and delayed deployment. All these reports are available today. Next slide. On the company documentation, again, we have this uploading and managing contracts and SOPs and SOWs. So per client, the option is to upload 5 contracts, renewal and tracking, expiry tracking. All of this can be done through the company documentation. There are some actionable insights also, some analytics. And then this is only available for admins for now, who have full access to all the companies. So this is on the company documentation part, and we still have another 3 weeks for you all to try this feature out. And this is the third part of the asset documentation, software asset management. This is coming soon. So we'll surely have to show something probably. Sorry, we have shown this, so we should be able to talk about the release dates probably in the next partner call for this. And with this, the updates are done. Next slide, I think it's on the reports.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Varsha. Team, I just wanted to cover the AI-powered reports today. What we kind of wanted to achieve is definitely actionable intelligence. We wanted to use AI for the insights. Definitely the biggest ask was around the customizable formats. And with that, with the level of flexibility we are having, it's now also multi-language is also going to be a much easier task to handle. So having said that, I probably want to take a few minutes to show a couple of reports, just to, kind of give you a brief overview. We did kind of generate, a kind of work through these reports. We went through a trial run with a few of our partners. We did a lot of discussions with our support team, sales, and because these are the teams who on the ground working with you day in day out to actually make sure we deliver value, right? So the feedback definitely has come in from all the sources, and there are a few partners, I'm sure they're on the call today, who have already got a preview of it. But I want to thank them because they were very they were happy with it, but also they gave very, very critical feedback for us in the initial stages so that we could do a fairly, I think, good job on the reports, which I will defer it to probably 2 months later, right? So having said that, I'm giving you 3 reports today. I'm going to talk about 3 reports, and then also we'll go over how the whole flow is going to work. So if you see the old assessment report, right? The assessment report, it was a pretty comprehensive report, probably 20 pages, which had all the vulnerabilities, it had all the remediations, it had a whole bunch of data. But what was kind of missing with that report is actionable insights. So the first thing what we try to do is we have the data, but what is it for you, right? So that's the first thing we wanted to bring into this report. And what we have taken as example is assessment report today. We wanted to make a technical actionable report. And the third thing is I'll show you a company health report, which has a different set of data, right? So we will go over these reports and then I'll go back to the UI on this one. So this is the 360 assessment report. So it starts with an executive summary on how the overall cyber security posture for this company looks like. So here we have generated for a company called Connect. And then if you see here, what is great, right? The risk score is doing okay. But yes, there are a good chunk of vulnerabilities. There is a good chunk of remediation spending. There is then this vulnerable assets. And then you have endpoint security, which has there's a potential problem there. So we have highlighted the key observations here. And what this means is you, as an exec, as execs, you can actually go and see what's the overall posture of this company, right? And that was the idea of giving an executive summary. Post that, we have almost today we had the data, but the way we are presenting it is in two ways, right? So one is, of course, the Active Directory and the password policy. What is good about it? What is the weakness area? So for every section, what we saw previously in the 360 assessment report, we are going to give you the strength and weakness. So the strength section is something which we have used AI and our platform to actually generate this value. But of course, we have guardrails, right? We will have to implement these guardrails before spelling this out. So for example, the weakness, it's saying the 11 accounts have non-expiring passwords. This is something where the team has to action upon, and you'll need to assign a corresponding technician for it. The next thing is the asset overview. So you have here, this is the company where there are 12 assets discovered. There are a whole bunch of vulnerable assets, and then we have external vulnerable assets as well. So again, with the strength and weakness and areas needing attention is something which the team has to go back. The next thing is compliance status. So there's a whole bunch of compliances we have today. But one of the things we are also kind of streamlined is what compliance you want to show on this report, right? We will be able to kind of customize those sections. But for the sake of this demo, we have put all the compliances, what was run for this company. And basically we can you can act upon it, right? So there are certain companies who have not run compliance at all, so we recommend to go and use CIS or the NIST compliance, right? So those recommendations we are kind of putting in the strength and weakness area. And if you do not want compliance or you do not want patching, those sections can be removed, which I'll shortly show you. Then we have the endpoint assessment, again, things which are kind of critical to the executive report, and we have shown this. Now you see something called the historical trend. Ideally, I would have wanted to put it in the top. I request to go on mute. So one is the historical trends. So the historical trends, ideally you would want to see the section on top. But if you see, the customization has allowed us to push it to the below sections. And this is again something which I'm going to show you. So here we see the last 3 months data, how the compliance, how the vulnerable assets are doing, how the critical threats are doing, exploitable risk. So these are the last 3 months data as of the current date. So if you see here, the remediation for performance, close to, there are like 4,000 vulnerabilities on the system. Again, a bit of demo data, and also remediation has also been done, right? So close to 1,800. That's been spelled out here. If you did have Microsoft 365 security assessment done, this section will show. Otherwise, you'll not have any section around this. Remediation, overall risk posture. So this is the overall today. What you saw in the assessment report is modified to show what is actionable, right? So one is what's good, what's great, what's to improve, and also we will start putting in benchmarks based on feedback. We have collected the feedback based on what we saw in the entire partner base. But yeah, these things can be modified later on. Like for example, 0 to 40 is very low, right? So you want to, if you want to change it later, we will do those. So once this is done, the next thing is the a get well plan, right? This is something which our executives need to know, and I would expect our technicians to kind of present this data so that they can get the resources and the staffing and the budgets to do it. So here what we have done is basically a 360-degree action plan and a get well plan. So what are the recommended actions? And these are like recommended actions, success metrics, and the business value, which is going to come around with each of the actions which you have seen above. So for the endpoint assessment, there will be an action plan. For improving the risk score, there's an action plan. So also we are going to give you the contributing factors so that you can improve the score as well. So this is around the whole assessment report, which has been completely modified, and then also giving you a plan of how to implement the whole thing with a timeline, and there's a plan for success. So this is one report which has been modified, and again, this uses the AI platform, kind of the tools which the LLMs and the AI uses today, and that's something which we are excited to show you that. Apart from that, the second thing which we kind of wanted to show you is the I'll just I think I just want to bring one more of the report, which is the interesting thing is the technical report, right? So here the technical report. Now, the second thing is this is called what we call as cyber notes. So you saw a whole bunch of things, vulnerability data, Active Directory action plans, then the risk score has to be improved. So what we are going to give you is for the technical team, a set of information so that you can create a ticket out of it. So for example, there were issues around the high and critical vulnerabilities. So what we are going to do is kind of generate these reports so you can actually create a ticket out of this into your PSA. So you copy this and then you can copy this data into PSA like Hello or ConnectWise or whatever it is, and then create a ticket and act on it. So this is something which we have segregated based on, and you'll see this is looking like post-it notes. These are actionables for each of the teams who have to act on those issues which were there in the main report. So this is one of the other things which you have done. The other report which is pretty interesting, which I think it was Shiva was very keen on getting this out, is a company health report. So you probably manage close to, some of them manage 20 companies, some of them manage close to 70 or 80 companies. So you want to see how are each of the companies doing, right? In terms of compliance, in terms of remediation, in terms of vulnerabilities. So what we're going to give is a overall company performance report. So you'll have the top 5 companies or the top 10 companies which are doing very well in terms of the score. This calculation, again, we are going to kind of use some standard metrics, and there will be an appendix sections to ensure that you are very well aware of how these calculations happen, so that it's definitely something you would want to know how the scores come about. So we are going to give you these companies where you're doing very well, and there are companies which you will not be doing well. So what that helps is, finally, at the end of the day, you will be able to, as a team, action about where to put resources, which company is getting managed very well, which company is not getting managed very well. So the execs can make decisions as to how the whole vulnerability management program is running using Connect Secure as a platform, right? So this is something which is called the company health report, which is again part of our initial release. So with that, I will go back to the main screen and just show you as to what was the thought process um, in the whole journey, right? So definitely we are going to allow you to choose a report. We are going to have a plethora of reports like business reports, assessment reports, remediation, vulnerability. There's going to be a lot of things which are going to be streamlined better and more valuable. You'll be able to choose the report. Then we'll have something called a report canvas. So this is where I think the power of customization will come, which we'll show you shortly. And next, you'll be able to preview every report. You'll be able to preview every report because, again, um, we are going to keep human in the loop, right? Very important because it's AI. And then after that, if you choose to generate the report, you can choose it. If you don't want to generate the report, you can discard it, go back to the canvas and work through this. But at the end of the day, the validation process is going to be something which we expect our partners to do it, because as I said, this is going to be there's going to be a human loop in this whole cycle, right? With that, I'll probably just take a few minutes to show as to how this. So you'll have something called under reports, you'll have AI reports. So Barsha, if you want to kind of walk through this, I will just navigate the screen and you can this one.
Yeah, sure. So this is the company health report that we just showed. Will give you an overall performance across all your companies. And since this is for all the companies, it's at the global level, as you all can see. So click on next. Yeah, so this is the report canvas that we were talking about. So basically on the left side, you see the various, these cards boxes. These are the sections that are there in this report. Now, by default, all these sections will be included in the report, but it could be that you do not want a specific section to be shown in the report. So there is where the customization comes into picture. So when you click on customize, you see here an option of, firstly, moving the sections top and down below, and also removing sections or dragging and dropping them from the left to right. This is this has some similarity with the report building blocks that we have today. So all this customization is available once you click on the customize option. Otherwise, the apply default is what loads up. So this is the report canvas. This is first thing. Second is the templates that you see. So on clicking, so if you want for the company health report, you want to save this template and keep it so that, every time you come, you just load the template. It says that the template is loaded in the report canvas, and you just proceed instead of having to make this change every time when you generate the report monthly. So you save this template, you give it a name, and you just say that load from this template. So the template loads, and yeah, so you can give some name. And save it. So the next time you will see that it comes here. So you select it, it loads, and you move forward instead of having to do the customization once again. So once the template is done, then the next step is the preview report that we just spoke about. However, this preview is a step where it takes from 2 to 4 minutes to generate. And once this preview is generated, there are two options. One, if you like it, you go and save the report actually, and it comes in the historical reports. That's the next tab beside the generate report. And the second option is you can go and discard the preview. So if you don't like any section or the visual appearance or anything is incorrect, you can again go back to the canvas and you can do it. So that's how this entire customization and template works. Same is for this 360 assessment report, cybersecurity 360. So for this, you can see there are many available components. There is asset section, vulnerability section, compliance, because this is an exec level report. So by default, everything is enabled. Whatever you want, you drag and drop, you customize, you save the template, and then move ahead for the, yeah. So this is a part of all customization. For example, the Microsoft Secure Score, the remediation status, we have omitted from here. So on the left, you can see that they have been enabled. It means that these components do not, they are not in this particular template. So
yeah. So one of the things is many of the partners did say like they don't do patching, right? They don't do patching for many of their companies. They also don't do compliances in certain cases. So they don't want to kind of show those things in the reports. So in that case, you can just remove these sections and make sure you kind of just keep the sections which are going to be useful for you, right? So and again, as you do this, you'll see this what sections are getting removed are getting into a different color mode so that you can kind of see what's again, if you want to add it back, you can just drop it back again. With respect to compliance, as I said before, you can choose what compliance you want to show, not and what compliance not to show, right? Because I'm sure some of the companies who are managing medical business, you might just need the HIPAA, right? So you just need to show this and then save it. So yeah, so this gives a this is one of the bigger reports which you see right now. You have a lot of fields you can customize. You can customize, you can save, you can deal with the templates, and also here you have something called the language section where you can choose. Right now we are allowing French and Italian. So we have put a 4-step process. You choose the report, you kind of design your template. Third, just go ahead and preview report. Preview report, as I said, I'm hopefully thinking this, yeah, you can see here the company health report. So this is how the preview looks like. If you see, the preview is going to look like this. You don't want to go ahead with the preview, no problem, right? You want to go back to the canvas again, you can discard the preview. Otherwise, you can just go ahead and then save the report as something which you want. You can use it later, right? So this is something which, and we are doing this preview report. So, and whatever you see in preview report, we are kind of saving it in the historical reports, so you can reuse it later, right? So this is how it looks here. So you can go to the historical reports, you can see this report, and then you can download it, right? And you will see we are using HTML because the reason it gives a whatever kind of preview you get, whatever kind of views you get with HTML, it is absolutely fantastic. You can save it as PDF. The PDF also looks great. And at the same time, I also want to show you a sample. Here, what you see is the Italian report, the same report which has been translated here, right? So this is something which is part of the whole process. And with that, I think this was what we wanted to cover, the historical reports. Having said that, anything else I missed in the demo, Barsha, before I go back to the slides?
No, I think we covered.
Okay. Okay, I'll take up questions once we cover this slide.
Yeah, there are quite a few questions. And I think what I'd like to just add to what Vidya and Barsha just shared on the AI reports is that I think our effort has been, unlike many vendors, and again, this is just our take on it, that the idea is not just to introduce AI for sake of AI, saying, okay, let's put a chatbot or something that many people have done, because if it doesn't add fundamental value, there is no, great purpose of having that. So we have tried to, kind of infuse AI more in a functional way, something that hopefully helps, produce better quality reports, so that you can share it with clients and get a lot more value out of the tool. So that's just a little bit of context there. But yeah, thanks Vidya, thanks Barsha. Over to the questions.
Yeah, I'll just wrap up a few things just to ensure the entire community knows what we are doing. We are starting with 3 reports. We have the GTM planned very soon. So the 360 assessment report, which I showed you today, the company health and the technical report is something which we want to roll out first. Just to let you know the models, we are primarily using GPT. It takes a good 3 to 4 minutes for a report to be generated. We haven't seen any hallucinations, but what we are trying to do is we are going to have a fallback, right? In case there's a problem with the GPT and stuff like that, a default report can be generated. So that's a caveat we are going to try to put in so that you do get a report on time, right? And then definitely we are going to see what models are going to work very well, and then keep fine tuning it. Language support, we are starting with English, French, and Italian. Formats, you can download as HTML, you can save it as PDF, and then you can take a printout or make it executive ready, right? Customizations, so the report sections are going to be customizable. You can save templates, you can reuse it. So that's something which we are going to allow. You'll have per company, you can save a template. We are going to have the EULA, which is going to be updated, which is inevitable because we are using the AI. Scheduled reports. This is not available right now because as I said, human in the loop, human oversight is definitely required as these are very critical checkpoints. Regarding pricing, this is yet to be decided by our team. But overall, I think the plan is standard is going to have limited sections in the templates, and then a premium will have more reports and more templates. And one of the things which will definitely influence the pricing is how the AI tool is going to kind of work in the next few weeks, right? So this is what I wanted to spell out to the community here. With that, thanks. I know it was a little longer call, but we did have a demo which we had to show you today so that it makes sense. I'm stopping to share my screen and I'm happy to take questions right now. Okay, can someone read out the questions? Okay.
Shri, do you want to read them off, or do you want me to go ahead?
Yeah, you can, Peter.
Okay, I was just checking in. So we've got a couple of questions. We've been going through the chat trying to answer them as we go. So John LaPlante asked, does anybody else have a problem with MS Word reports? Every time I run a Word report, it hangs. Word when I open it, Excel and PDF Words report run fine. Couple of back and forths here. Folks are asking about that. It looks like we're going to have that answered in a support ticket. So John, if you could just go ahead and email support@connectsecure.com. We'll take a look at this on the side and get you an answer as soon as possible. Adabas asks, I was under the impression that NIST and Microsoft no longer recommend expiring passwords. Did that change again?
I have to check this, Peter. Ryan, if you have it on top of your mind, maybe you can answer. But
Yeah, so Ryan Seymour here, Connect Secure. So yeah, I agree. I believe that is the current stance, is that expiring passwords is no longer the thing. So we could definitely get some adjustments on. I think there's a couple checks that we do in terms of Active Directory and Entra that might show expiring passwords. So we should get back and make some adjustments on that. I know that's been like a hot potato as passwordless authentication and API tokens and all these new methods are becoming the standard. So we'll take that as a takeaway, and we'll get our documentation and the product updated to support the latest trend. Although I've personally spoken to a lot of partners and MSPs out there, and regardless of they don't require it, I know a lot of partners still like to see it, right? Have some awareness, have some visibility to it, just in case one of those other authentication methods is failing or not in place, or just something gets overlooked. At least you still have some visibility to it. So I don't know how we accommodate that in terms of keeping it visible, but not counting it towards a negative weightage on a risk score. So I think we need to kind of think through that, but it's on the radar. So thanks for calling it out.
Yeah, thank you. It looked like that was a popular one. A couple folks gave that a thumbs up. So thank you, Adabas, and thank you, Ryan, for the explanation there. Andrew Knox asks, custom reporting, can removing low vulnerabilities be removed from vulnerability overview, PowerPoint, for example? The answer is yes, Andrew. You do that by going into the global, and then dialing down into report customization section. We dropped a knowledge base article there on your question. So if you follow that, you will be able to get to the report customization section. And if you have any other questions there, you can always submit a ticket to support@connectsecure.com. And our support team will go through that with you to get that finely tuned to what you want.
Could I expound just for a moment? Yeah, I
Sure.
saw where it is available at the global level, but I wanted to know if it was ever going to be available at the company level. Thanks.
Yeah, so Andrew, the customization menu is only found at the global level, but once you customize the template, you can run that at any company level report as well. So it will function at the company level once you've customized it.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Yes, sir. Natasha asks, where can I find all these reports? So these new reports, they are not yet in production. We are planning on having them come soon. Vidya, I don't know if we want to commit to any timelines yet, but we're pushing to have them out definitely in the next few months, I believe.
yeah, I think we are at the state where we are allowing a lot of our internal members to test it and give feedback. So having said that, I would say within the next 2-3 weeks, you should have the access to the reports.
Awesome
So
news.
yeah, Yeah, end of the month perhaps is a good time.
Perfect. Thank you, Shri. Appreciate that. So very soon, next few weeks, list of the new ones consolidated. So right now we have 3 new reports: the 360 assessment, the company health report, and then the technicians report. Just going over sort of like an action plan that the technician would have to go over with the MSP's end client, so your end clients. So that was answered. We have Dennis asks when these reports will be available for testing. So end of the month is what we're aiming for here. Tim, appreciate the warm sentiment there, the huge improvement over the customer reports. I know Vidya, Barsha, the entire engineering team has been working tirelessly on getting these new reports out. It's been one of the top requested things from partners for a very long time now. So we've gotten some positive feedback so far. So we're happy to hear that. We love the positive feedback. And of course, we also love constructive feedback so we can continuously hone these in to be exactly what y'all need to deliver to your end clients. So appreciate that. We have Tom asking, in the context of Cyber Essentials Plus, and the significant changes implemented to assessment process with Willow, we have the following queries regarding Connect Secure and how it aligns with the new Cyber Essentials Plus requirements, as we are having to consider a move to an alternative platform that does accommodate the new requirements. Yeah, it might be best, Tom, if you could submit a ticket to support@connectsecure.com with a lot of those new requirements. Our team will take a look at that and go through that and try to get that into one of our next cycles if possible, so we can get this platform in a place where you need it to be, so you don't have to switch over to an alternative platform for your Cyber Essentials Plus assessments. We have some more questions from Tom. Audio remediation capabilities. Do you support automated remediation for critical/high CVEs, not just software patching versions?
Yes. The answer is yes. We do support automated remediations using the scheduler. It's triggered by, I'll use the word policy loosely. In Connect Secure, policy is defined by tags. So if you're using tags on your assets, you can then define a scheduler around those tags, and that can act as a policy. I'll give you an example. You may want to create a patching or a policy that says only patch servers, only patch workstations, only patch SQL servers, domain controllers, database servers. You can use any tag you want to create a logical group, and that's what drives policy. So you won't find the word policy in Connect Secure, but that's how you drive that action, is through tags and that scheduler.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you, Ryan. And then reporting enhancements. Can we generate Cyber Essentials Plus Willow compliant reports with CVSS and EPSS scoring? Not a vulnerability report per se, but a compliance report specifically meeting the new Cyber Essentials Plus Willow standards. Looks like that's the kind of information we'd want to have on that ticket submitted into support, so we can get a more detailed answer there, since Cyber Essentials is a little bit more niche, but we can certainly take a look in there. Is there a dashboard that shows vulnerability severity and exploitability side by side for all vulnerabilities globally per customer, which can also show affected asset names, not total number of assets affected?
Feels like another Ryan question.
Yes, sir.
I want to say that we're off the top of my head, I can't say without 100% yes. I know that that data is in our system. And the core of the vulnerability analysis that we present in the UI, we always present the threat intel from the NVD, which is the CVE and the severity, and we provide the EPSS for exploitability. That is also shown in the UI on the assets view, specifically the table view. So if you navigate to your Connect Secure portal, go to all assets on the global view, make sure you're in table view. You will then see the columns there, and you should see severity, which is exclusively driven from the NVD score. And then you have EPSS there, which will range from 0 to, above 95 percentile. So that data is definitely there. In terms of a dashboard, you'd have to kind of maybe look at, I would just hit the global dashboard and look for vulnerability overview or something along the lines of that. I would think we can get you very close to that if it's not already there off the top of my head.
And then we got one last question from Tom here regarding evidence collection. Can your platform export structured evidence for Cyber Essentials Plus audits? Example, patch log, scan results, device snapshots.
So if we supported Cyber Essentials Plus, then yes. On our current platform, in the compliance assessments module, you will find Cyber Essentials, not the Plus version. And any of those compliance assessments you find in there, if you look through the assessment questionnaires that are broken up into sections and questions, each question supports evidence that you can upload to support said question. At the end of the assessment, when you complete and finish it, the output, which is the report from the assessment, will contain a structured folder of the evidence you uploaded as artifacts, and it'll kind of tie back to the report sections. So we do have some structured method there. So again, I'll use the word yes loosely. On structured evidence, it's kind of in our view, but we do provide a nice pathway so you can kind of connect all that together.
Well, thank you, Ryan. Yeah, and Tom, we know Cyber Essentials is an important mandate for all of our UK partners, so we're continuously looking at that. Anything we're missing that's making you look for alternative sources to potentially close some of these gaps Connect Secure is missing, we'll certainly take a look at and would love to get your more detailed feedback on a ticket. So appreciate these questions, and we'll keep honing it in for you there. Matt's got a question just to clarify. We'll be able to customize these reports, add or remove modules, move them up and down the report. It looks like Barsha went through that on our presentation today. So the answer is yes. We'll be able to add remove sections, move them up and down so it's in the order you want, and then save that as a template. So you can have a template for company A, and then you could have it in a different order with different information for company B, C, so on and so forth. So we've got that in the platform, and that will be released on our initial release end of October. More questions from Tom. Authentication and access controls. Do you validate MFA and passwordless authentication methods? It's another Ryan question there.
Sorry, I was reading some of the chats there. That was the access control question.
Yes, sir. Authentication and access controls. Do you validate multi-factor authentication and passwordless authentication
Yes.
methods?
Yeah, so we have our identity and access management front end, otherwise known as Citadel, that sits in front of Connect Secure's portal, where we pass all the authentication, MFA, passwordless, and we support, all the latest trends there, especially SSO. A lot of partners are in there to do SSO, so that user account creation can happen through those methods as well. So yes, we do use secure and the latest auth methods using Citadel as our IAM that sits in front of the application.
Yep. Thank you, Ryan. Appreciate that. Yes, we have Citadel for that. Matt is expressing a little frustration that we've been promised new reporting for 2 years, and when it finally comes out, the plan is to paywall the feature. We're not planning on paywalling the feature. We are planning on having essentially pretty much most of the functionality you're seeing today is going to be in the standard module. Some of the pieces like the the M365 piece, the web app scanner, since that's already in premium, those sections will not be available in the standard package just because we won't have the scan data there. We are planning on releasing the bulk of these new AI reports in standard. The only thing we really do need to consider ourselves internally, just for the health of the company, is right. These are AI reports. We're subscribing to ChatGPT to help generate a lot of these reports, and that incurs costs on our side. So we're going to release as much as we possibly can in the standard section, and we plan on making this a very rich, full-featured resource in standard. Right? I can speak for myself, and I know I've spoken with Shrikant and Shiva as well about this. Is you know one of the four core tenets of this platform is reporting. So we want to make sure that we have a robust reporting platform in the standard version at no extra costs. We haven't raised the base price on the product ever, and we want to maintain that. A goal of this company is to deliver quality cybersecurity products at an affordable price point so that we can help defend the digital borders of as many MSPs as possible. Small to mid-sized businesses as possible through the MSP channel, and that will remain to be a goal of the company. So, they'll be coming out in a few weeks here, and I think you guys will be happy with what you get in the standard version at no additional cost. So we got a question from Kyle asking, I need a CSV download at the global level for vulnerabilities that include asset names, and Vidya answered that. That would be in the standard reports.
No, the only thing is, some of these reports we don't allow to pull a global view, because what happens is, we are running on a shared infrastructure. Let's be honest about it. Some of these reports can end up guzzling our queries, and we end up kind of slowing down the other partners. So that's one of the problems we have faced. So we are very, very careful on putting something global right now. But as of now, maybe I cannot commit anything right now, but probably in 2026, we'll see how we can streamline to give more flexibility in the global reports. So it's definitely a problem because we are on the shared infrastructure.
Thank you, Vidya.
Yeah, I'd like to comment too, Vidya. Thank you for sharing the engineering side. There is a way to pull that data, although it's not a single report. If you go to the global standard reports, you will find the critical, high, medium, and low internal vulnerability categories. They are in CSV or Excel version there. If you print those, you have to print a couple of them, 3 or whatever you're after. If you're after all of it, you need 4. But if you bring those out of your system, you will have all that data on those Excel files, and then you could easily combine them or keep them in a tab form. And it does contain CVE, asset name, all that data that you're after. So it's not one report, but the data is there across those various severity-based reports. And shout out to Peter's comment, Connexicare not raising their prices. I want to acknowledge that too. I'm proud of that as one of the colleagues here at Connexicare. I've been in the MSP industry for 20 years working. We don't see that. I think any partner here can also attest that SaaS vendors are always moving products and features, and prices have gone up on every product that I know every year without reasonable doubt. So shout out to Pete. That's a great comment. Love to be a part of that. So I just wanted to acknowledge that.
I appreciate it, Ryan. Appreciate it, Vidya. Yeah, I mean, I understand the concern that Matt's bringing up too.
Definitely.
We do want to make sure we're delivering as much value as we can at the lowest price point we can and maintain health as a company, right? That is the goal of the business, right? I think a lot of the vendors out there are really just gouging the MSP industry, and we want to make sure that we're fighting back a little bit, right? We're 100% employee owned, so we can kind of take advantage of that. We don't really answer to any private equity companies, so we get to have a little bit of fun with that. Sarah asks, when will you be available for self-hosted environments? They usually lag and never seem to address the questions unless asked. Vidya answers some of this, and then Sarah follows up with, oh, things shifted around, sorry. If we are self-hosted, I'm not sure how that makes sense. None of our data for regulated clients can go through their cloud. So yes, certain modules do need to have cloud access, which can cause a delay. Vidya, if you want to expand on that at all, perhaps.
Yeah. See, for the reports, I think you do have a restriction if your queries cannot hit the cloud or you can't hit the GPT, right? So if things go well, maybe next year we can set up a local LM for you. That would be the end goal. And having said that, some of the features we uh, take a wait and watch approach to release it to the on-prem for two things, right? Technically, we want to be sure that everything works well in the cloud before rolling out to the on-prem. Second, I know specifically probably you're talking about the web application scan. There was a whole gamut of technical issues which we ran into when we deployed it in on-prem, and that possibly took longer, right? So that was a challenge because we were using Kubernetes clusters and deploying it easily on the cloud, but that was not straightforward on the on-prem. So wherever we want to maximize the use of on-prem and give you the features, we in fact our whole local setup, our test labs and our Tampa labs are all on-prem. So we try to do everything for on-prem, but there are certain caveats where we are not able to kind of do it. And also we want to make sure we don't influx support tickets without the right set of information, logs and stuff like that, because that gets very difficult on the L1 and L2. So, Sarah, I know a bit of pain, but I think for the reports, if you are ready to use these reports, there's nothing which technically stops us to deploy it in on-prem.
Thank you. Appreciate the answer, Vidya. That was enlightening. Moving down a little bit, Tim's got a good point on the ChatGPT credits. Something maybe to take a note on if to see if it's feasible, Vidya. If it gets to a point where the ChatGPT credits are costing us too much and we do have limits on how many reports we can generate, perhaps see if we can allow the MSPs or partners to add their own enterprise GPT on the back end and use the MSP credits. If there's a certain limit we see over time, right? We'll let it run for a while and see what our true expenses are on running these. And if we see at a certain scale, okay, once somebody generates, X amount of reports and they go over, see if they can then apply their own credits from GPT to generate these reports.
I
Not
think
sure if it's doable, but something to check for feasibility.
no, definitely doable. And I think it's similar on the lines of how we do emails today. You can use your own SCS account or you can use ours. So it's similar on lines. I think technically doable, but I think let's give it some time for our partners to use our GPT models.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for that. Thank you for that point, Tim, and thank you for the answer, Vidya. And that looks like we're at the end of our questions. So we got through them all. If there are any other follow-up questions, be sure to put them in the chat there. But I want to give a warm shout out to our engineering team who's been hard at work on really thinking through how they want to deliver these reports. It's been something that's been asked for 2+ years now. I know it's perhaps the number one requested feature by our partners, you guys. So we wanted to really make sure we delivered a refresh in a true impactful way. And I just shout out to Vidya, Barsha, Shiva, the entire engineering team to really rethink reports. And I think Sri summarized it in a very, very elegant way, right? I think every vulnerability management tool has the same problem of it creates a ton of noise. And one of the things we wanted to do with these reports is really kind of shift the focus on, okay, here's the game plan for this month. Here's your, I believe we call it an action plan in the reports, which is one of the things I'm very excited about, to take, your clients from a D to a C, from a C to a B to an A, and then give you a game plan on how to get there. So you guys can really show your value to your customers. And then also, once that value's been delivered, show them the historical trends as well of, okay, we got you from here 3 months ago to here today, and look at how much more secure you are. And I think that delivers a lot of value. That helps you guys prove your worth to your customers. And then also, we wanted to make sure that, we don't want to come with a boil the ocean type of mentality, but really, specific targeted actions to truly drive a more secure posture. And I think that these reports are going to be, they're going to do just that. So great job by the engineering team.
Yeah. Thank you. I think we have answered all the questions. Thanks everyone for joining, and please feel free to give feedback as we roll.
All righty. Thank you all.
Bye.